So every single fitness coach that I've spoken to has always struggled to get clients through social media. And that's because they don't understand that social media and posting content itself is not the thing that gets clients. You've been told that the solution to getting clients through social media is to just post more consistently, use trending audio, show up every day, and be authentic. But that in itself just does not work. Posting content is not the thing that gets you clients. There's two rules to getting clients through content, and I'm going to go over them in this video today. So, if you're watching this video, chances are you're already doing that. You're already posting more consistently. You're trying to be consistent. You're using trending audio. You're showing up every day. You're actually posting consistently. And to be fair, you might have even got a decent following from it. You might get decent views and stuff like that. But still, clients aren't coming in as much as you'd like, even though you are posting consistently, even despite you might have decent views, you might have a decent following, right? And that's because getting clients from social media is not a volume game. It's not about using trending audios, and it's definitely not about going viral. Your social media and what you post is a signal. So what I mean by that is every piece of content that you post is sending a signal out to the people that actually see it. It's not just something that gets you clients, because most people that post content expect it to get them clients, expect it to get them more leads, more calls booked, and they go into posting content with the mindset behind it that it's going to help them make more money. But it just doesn't, and that's the thing that's holding people back, that exact mindset of thinking that it's going to help you get more clients. So like I said, every piece of content you post is sending a signal about who you are, who you help, and what problem that you actually solve specifically. And right now, for most coaches, that signal, obviously that they're giving out through their content, says, I help anyone who wants to get fit. And that signal attracts exactly that. It attracts anyone. Beginners, people who want free tips and free tips only, and people who would never actually pay for coaching. And the people that see the content you're posting, the people that see that generic, vague, boring content that you're posting that targets everyone, they didn't decide to not buy because they saw your content, but because your content was never ever designed to attract buyers in the first place. And like it shows here, when you're posting content, it's giving off the signal, it's giving off the energy that is going to attract freebie seekers, people who just want free things, free value. You're going to attract time wasters, price shoppers, low quality clients, and beginners. You're just attracting people that will never ever buy because you're posting content that isn't specific enough to the point where people feel like you're actually reading their minds. And when people feel that way, when people know you're actually speaking to them, when people can understand the exact thing you're speaking about, when it can resonate with those people, they're going to want to listen to you more and actually pay you to help them with that problem, because you're speaking about the problems that they want. And so if there's one thing you take away from this video, it's that you need to be more specific with who you're targeting and with who you're talking to and who you actually want to coach, right? But let's say your content was actually designed to attract buyers. Let's say you did have a bit of a specific person that you coach, like a busy professional or something like that. It still is hard to get clients because, for example, if you are someone who does have a niche, I bet you're still struggling to get clients. Because think about this, right? If you're posting content, but you do have a specific niche as well, how can you expect someone to go from a 30-second reel, a 20-second reel, or maybe even a minute reel, right, to paying you at the lowest $200 a month for your coaching? Like, for example, with you, let's say you saw someone who is posting a bit of content that describes you a little bit. You're their exact niche, right? Let's say you're the person who someone else is attracting through their content. You're not going to go and pay them straight away because you've seen 20 seconds of what they're talking about. So you need to understand that the job of social media is not to get you clients at all. The job of social media is to generate you enough attention so you can actually use that attention that you're generating, the likes, the comments, the engagement you're getting, to actually convert it. And I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do and the second part of the process that comes with content, because there's two parts of it. The first one is generating attention, and the second part is what we'll go over in a minute. So, like I said, social media actually has two jobs. It's got two things that are going to be the things that are going to get you more calls, more clients, more leads, and that sort of thing. Job one, like I said, is getting you attention. Content at the moment, when you post it and target a specific person, it's going to get you attention, it's going to get you views, engagement, likes, and that sort of thing, right? But job two is converting that attention and then actually turning it into conversations with the right people. Because most coaches at the moment are just obsessed with job one, which is getting more views, more reach, more followers. Most coaches think that when they've got thousands of followers, everything's going to be okay and good. But it doesn't. It isn't, sorry. Because this was ages ago now, about 4 or 5 months ago, before I even had the offer I have now, so it was a while back now. I was speaking to a coach who had 28k followers, right? And I outreached to him. I was obviously trying to get to know him and stuff, see if I could help him out. And I was so surprised that he didn't have any clients. I wasn't even going to outreach to him because I didn't think I could help him out. I thought it was making some good money, but I just did it. I don't know why. I shouldn't have, but I did it. And it turns out he wasn't making any money from online coaching, even though he was an online coach with 28,000 followers. That just proves that followers don't fucking matter, and you shouldn't be aiming for just followers and views, right? Like I said, job one is getting attention, but you need to be doing job two as well, which is actually making conversations, starting conversations with the right people, so you can actually understand people's struggles, pains, and use that as the window to get them on a call. And when you've got them on a call, you dig into that pain more, then obviously you offer them a solution to fix that pain, and that's your fucking offer. That's how simple it really is to get clients and book calls. And so the coaches who actually get consistent clients and actually get consistent book calls from social media, they're not necessarily the most followed, the most viewed, or anything like that. They're the ones whose content / social media does both jobs. It pulls in the right people and builds enough trust that those people want to start a conversation. Or, to be fair, those people might not even start the conversation. It might take you having to reach out to them, but they've seen your content, they've seen enough from you that they are willing to have a conversation. And that's what content's job is. It's not to get you clients, it's help you build attention to be able to actually start conversations and turn those conversations into actual calls and into paying clients. And that's literally how simple it is. So you're getting attention, you're converting that attention into messages, into conversations, and that's the thing that's actually going to get you clients, calls, leads, and fucking money. So when coaches don't realise that content itself doesn't get clients, the instinct is to just post more, post better content, try a different format, or even hire an editor. I've seen fucking some coaches hiring editors to get more fucking clients. You're wasting money. You're literally fucking wasting money. You don't need an editor unless you're trying to outsource, obviously, unless you're trying to save up some time. But if you've got no clients, then you've got time. You need to leverage that time, right? Because when you're doing that, when you're just doing stuff like hiring editors, when you're posting better content to try and fix that content problem, that's like rearranging furniture with a house with no foundation. It's like trying to rearrange furniture in a house that isn't already fucking built, right? Because you cannot fix a content problem with a content solution. It just makes no sense. And that's the same with anything in life. You can't fix something by doing the exact same thing or trying to make it a little bit better. You need to change something. Something needs to be changed. You can only change when something is changed. It's super simple, but that's with everything in life, like I said. And so the real problem is your positioning and your messaging. Who exactly do you help, right? What is the one specific problem that you solve? What type of person is your ideal client, and what are they desperately looking to solve? If you cannot answer those questions, if you cannot tell me the exact answer to those questions for your niche and those questions, then your content will always be vague. Until those answers are sharp and specific and you can actually answer them, your content's always going to be vague. And vague content attracts vague generic people, and vague generic people do not buy coaching. And so you end up in this broken business model loop because you're posting generic content and then it's still attracting nobody that buys, and so you still keep on posting content to get more buys and customers and clients, but that's still not working, so you just end up in this fucking broken business model loop that just keeps you stuck. And that's probably why you're watching this video right now, because you're stuck. You're posting content, it's going nowhere, and you're struggling to get clients consistently on a consistent basis. So when you strip it back, right, you need to strip it back to the basics, because getting clients from social media comes down to 4 simple things and 4 simple things only, right? It comes down to this sequence. First, if it's not obvious enough as well, by the way, first, you need a clear niche. You know exactly who you're talking to. You need to know exactly who your coaching's for, who your content's speaking to, so people actually resonate with your content and actually are open to having a conversation, right? Second, you need content like this is about what I've just said. You need content that speaks directly to that specific person, so they actually feel seen. You need to speak about their situation. speak about the problems they're going through. You need to actually understand that person. You need to do some research on them, and you need to actually have some market research on that person so you can understand the things they're feeling. And this is why I always recommend finding a specific niche and finding someone who you want to coach that you've been through, that you have experience in, right? Because if you do that, you're going to understand them automatically, right? Like, for example, for me, right, I was in a place where I was struggling to get leads. I was stuck, just like this video a little bit. I was just stuck, not getting leads. And so which I do now, if I target people and target business owners that are in a stuck loop like this, and this is why I'm posting this video, I target fitness coaches who are stuck in a loop like this. If I target fitness coaches who are stuck in this loop of posting content, getting no clients, then I'm actually going to be able to help them out because I've been in that exact position. I understand exactly what their frustrations, pains, and struggles are. And so third is you need a profile. We've not spoken about this one, but this is super important as well. But you need a profile that qualifies people when they land on it. Your bio, your pin post, your positioning, all needs to make people understand who your content and offer is actually for. So your content is going to speak to a specific person, and so are your pin posts and everything about your content. Everything's going to speak to that specific person, right? And so your content, your pin posts, and everything on your page is going to get rid of the people that you don't want to be coaching, that you don't want to coach. And that means it's just going to get rid of the time wasters straight away, rather than you trying to coach everyone and you're getting 50% of people that come to you or you haven't met, who have a conversation with, are going to waste your time. Now, from 50%, might be about 10 or 20%. Obviously, you're saving a lot of time and you're speaking to actual qualified prospects who are ready to get on a call, who want some help, and just need a bit of nurturing to actually become a client. And that's simple as that, right? And so the fourth one is you need a simple, low friction way to start a conversation with the right person. And this is super simple. Just message someone, be genuine. So with this, it's just you're literally starting a conversation, actually being curious about what people want to do and achieve and stuff like that. Figuring out their pains in a natural way, using that as the window to get them on the call, and then again get them on the call, figure out their pains a bit more, go deeper, create the gap between where they are now, where they want to be, and then that's the time where you pitch to kind of offer them a solution to their pains and problems. And that's how simple it is in getting clients, right? So the truth is, right, if your content isn't converting right now, the answer is not to post more. It's not to try a new format. It's not to study what the big coaches and accounts are doing. It's to go back to the foundation. Get clear on who the fuck you actually help. Get specific on what problem you solve. Make sure your profile reflects that. Make sure you're actually getting rid of the time wasters. And then create content that speaks directly to that one person. And then, the one what's missing from here, if you can figure it out yourself, go ahead. But it's starting conversations. You need to start conversations with those people and with the people that you're attracting. And even if you are posting content that is a bit more niche down, which is good obviously, and you're still not getting the engagement or getting much attention, do cold outreach, right? Cold outreach is so fucking powerful, and a lot of business owners and coaches just don't know it. It's so powerful, and that's literally the main way I book all my calls, cold outreach, because if I'm being honest, a lot of my content is that specific, but it doesn't get me much attention. So what I do is I use cold outreach as the thing that generates me attention, right? So I do cold outreach, people are going to check out my page, you're going to see my content, they might even follow me, then they're in my social media ecosystem, they're going to see more of my content. The more I'm messaging them, they're going to see my content and the conversation we're having. That is so much trust being built. And so when you're posting content plus doing outreach or cold outreach, the amount of trust you're building is fucking insane. And because my content speaks directly to the people that I'm reaching out to, the trust I'm building is so much. Hence why every time that I send a call pitch, 90% of the times that I send a call pitch, people always jump on a call. And that's exactly why, because I'm posting content that is specific and I'm actually having conversations and giving value and building that much fucking trust. And so when all of those things align, when you're doing all of these things here, plus starting conversations, social media stops feeling like a grind. It stops feeling like a task on the to-do list where you're shouting into a void and getting nothing. And it starts feeling like a filter where the right people find you, feel like you understand them, and they actually reach out, or you reach out, because they actually want to talk. And if no one reaches out to you, you reach out to them and people will want to talk, like I've just said with cold outreach. And this change doesn't happen from posting more content, as I said. It happens from better positioning, from actually dialing in who you speak to, who you want to coach, and who you actually serve within your content and your coaching. So I hope this video was valuable. This was a very, very, very valuable one. This took me over a year to kind of figure out myself, right? Because I just thought content was the thing when it comes to getting clients. But you build these systems over time and you just realize that it's not all about content. It's about having these systems plus content that are going to get you the results you want. Like I said, cold outreach for me plus content is the thing that helps me build the trust to get clients and calls. And that's how simple it is. So like I said, I really do hope this video helped you out a lot. If you've got any questions or anything like that, or want help implementing this system yourself, you can book in a call down below. There's a link to my website landing page, and we can have literally like a 10-15 minute call to see what you're struggling with, give you a bit of value, that sort of thing. But apart from that, really do appreciate you watching. If you've got any questions or want to ask me anything, head over to my Instagram, that's in the description as well. I'm more than happy to have a chat with you, give you a bit of value. And yeah, cheers for watching.